The world of AI is in a strange and exciting time with transfer learning. It's never been easier to deploy a fully trained artificial intelligence model and start using it for real world problems. The idea here is to use pre-trained models already that are out there available on the internet for anyone to use, and for a lot of common problems you can just import a pre-trained model that somebody else did all the hard work of putting together and optimizing and figuring out the right parameters and the right typology and just use them. So for example, if you are trying to do image classification, there are pre-trained models out there that you can just import. Some of them are called ResNet, Inception, MobileNet, Oxford, VGG are some examples, and they come pre-trained with a very wide variety of object types. So in many cases you can just unleash one of these off the self modes, point a camera at something and it will be tell you it is. That's kind of freaky. Similarly, for natural language processing, there are pre-trained models available as well, such as World2Vec and Globy, that you can use to basically teach your computer how to read with just a few lines of code. Now you can just see them as is, but you can also just use them as a starting point on them or build on them for more specific problems. So even if they don't solve the specific problem you are trying to solve, you can still use these pre-trained models as a starting point to build off. That is a lot easier to get going with. You don't have to waste a lot of time trying to figure out the right typology and parameters for a specific kind of problem. You can start with a model that's already figured all that out for you and just add on top of it. This is called transfer learning. Basically, we are transferring an existing trained model from somebody else to your application. Now you can find more of these pre-trained models and what are called model Jews. A popular one is called the Cafe Model Jew, and it's I'm not sure what to think of all this. I mean, it is a super easy to deploy AI now. As you can see in our next example, you can just import an existing model Jew model and start using it with just 4 or 5 lines of code. You don't have to really be very good developer anymore to actually use AI for practical applicants. So yeah, kind of weird place for the industry to be right now, and kind of opens up a lot of interesting and potential scary possibilities how people might start to use this technology when such a low barrier to entry now of actually using it. Anyway, let's dive into a real world example and I will show you just how scary easy it is now. So let's dive into transfer learning. Open up the transfer learning notebook in your course materials and you should see this, and you will soon see just how crazy easy it is to use and how crazy good it can be. So we are gonna be using the ResNet 50 model here. This is used for image classification, so it's an incredibly easy way to identify objects in arbitrary images. So if you have a picture of anything, maybe it's coming from a camera or video frames or what have you, this can tell you what's in that picture pretty reliable, it turns out. So let's have some fun with it. So just to prove a point, I am going to try some of my own vacation photos here with it. So we are gonna be sure that the pictures that I am giving ResNet 50 to classify are pictures that it never seen before, and see what it can do with it. For example, I took this picture of a fighter jet while I was exploring the deserts of California. Let's just run that. This is included with your course materials, and there we have a picture of a fighter jet. So as start, let's see if the ResNet 50 model can identify it and see what's involved in it actually coding that up. First we just need to import the modules we need. So we need to import the RESTnet 50 model itself again, what that is built on top of Keras other models, as well as we don't even have to go to the trouble of downloading and installing it. It's just there, and from we are also going to import some images or processing tools both from Keras itself and as a part of the RESTnet 50 package itself. We also got an important NumPy because we are going to use NumPy to actually manipulate the image data into a NumPy array, which is ultimately what we need to feed into a neural network. So let's go ahead and run that block. Now one sort of limitation of the RESTnet 50 model is that your input images have to be 224 by 224 resolution. You know, that's in part to make sure that it can run efficiently. It's also limited to one of 1000 possible categories, and that might not sound like a lot, but I think you will be surprised at just how much detail it will give you as to what a thing is. So let's go ahead and load up that image again. This time we will scale it down to 224 by 224. While we are loading it, we will convert that to a NumPy array with these two lines of code, and then call the RESTnet 50 models pre-process input to do something to prepare that data. I assume it's scaling it down into whatever range it wants, and maybe doing some pre-processing image itself to make it more work together. It's kind of a black box, and that's what's weird about using transfer learning. You know, you are just sort of taking it on faith that is doing the right thing, but from a practical standpoint that's not a bad thing to do. Let's go ahead and run this. All right, so it's pre-processed my image. That was pretty quick. Now we will load up the actual model itself. One line of code is all it takes. Model equals RESTnet 50. The weights there represent that it's going to use weights learned from the ImageNet data to can even use variations of ResNet 50 that were trained on different sets of images there potentially. So let's go ahead and load up the model. And that's just so now we can just use it. So we now have a pre-trained image classification model here with one line of code, and we can use to use it. Now all we can do is call predict on it and we are done. That's it. It's really that easy. So let's try it. We have, as you recall, our pre-processed fighter jet image here in the X array here, and we will just call mod.predict and see what it comes back with. I will come back with a classification, and to translate that into something human readable, we will just calls the decode prediction function that comes with the ResNet 50 model as well. It's just that easy. Okay, literally 2 lines of code here, right? We just had one line to actually load up the ResNet 50 model and transfer that learning to our application. If you will specifying a given set of weights that was pre-learned from a given set of images, and then we just call predict on that model and we are done. That's it. Let's run that and see if it actually works. Wow. So yeah, its top prediction was actually warplane, and that's exactly what this is a picture of, even though it's never seen this picture before ever, and I didn't do anything to make sure that the photo was like from the right angle or properly framed or anything like that, or pre-processed with a lot of contrast. It just works. It's kind of spooky good. It second guessed was a missile followed by a projectile. Yeah, there were missiles and projectiles on that plane as well. So not only did it tell me it was a warplane, it told me that it was a warplane. I mean, wow, that's crazy good, right? Let's try with some other language. Maybe we just got lucky. So let's make a little convenient function here to do this on a given image more quickly. So we will write a little classify function here, and it will start off by displaying a picture of the thing that we are starting to classify here. It will then load that image up, scaling it down to the required 224 by 224 dimensions, convert that to a numpy array, pre-process it, and then just call predict on the ResNet 50 model and see what it comes back with. So now we can just say classify and whatever our image file name is, and it will tell us what it is. So we have reduced our little bit of code here to just one line now. So I can now just hit shift enter to define that function, and now I can just say, well, I have a file called bunny.jpg in my course materials. Let's classify that, shift enter. There's a picture of a bunny rabbit in my front yard that I took once, and sure enough the top classification is wood rabbit followed by hare. So not only is it saying it's a rabbit, it's tell me what kind of rabbit. I don't really know my rabbit species that well, so I'm not sure if that's actually a wood rabbit. I could be, I don't know. Either way, it's pretty impressed. I mean, it's not even like a prominent piece of this image, is just sort of like sitting there middle of my lawn, and it's not even that clear of a photo either. Imagine this scale down to 224 by 224. There's really not going to be a lot of information there. Is still figured out that that's a rabbit. How about a fire truck? Fire truck picture of a fire truck, and this is not a normal fire truck. This is like that. At same aviation museum I took a picture of that warplane of it's a sort of an antique fire truck that was used by the Air Force, but still the fire engine is the top prediction. That's kind of cool. I took a picture of my breakfast once at a fancy hotel in London. Let's see what it does with that full English breakfast, mind you. When in London one must eat as England's. Actually, I don't know if they really full English breakfast there, but it's still good. Yes. So it picked up that there is a dining table in this picture. There is a tray containing my food restaurant. I mean, while this was actually room service, but you could definitely imagine that's in a restaurant instead. So yeah, again an impressive job here on a random photo from a vacation, like it's never seen this picture before. I took absolutely no thought into making sure this was a picture that would work well with machine learning or artificial intelligence for image classification. Let's keep going. When I was in England, I visited some castles in Wales. Pictures of a castle did go to. It's beautiful there. Yeah, it's a castle there. That's its top predictions. Second guess was a monastery or a palace. Both good guesses, but yeah, it's a castle, and you know it's not even a typical looking castle. It's still figured it out. This is incredible stuff. Alright, let's see if I can trip it up. I also took a trip to New Mexico once and visited what's called the Very Large Array. This is basically an array of giant radio astronomy dishes with only 1,000 classifications. I would not imagine it would get this right. So there's the picture. It's just a bunch of giant radio astronomy telescopes, and it says it's a radio telescope. Okay. This is mind-blowing stuff, guys. In case of transfer learning, one more, I took a picture of bridge once, and you remember that bridge, it's a London bridge apparently. So okay, what is the ResNet 50 suspension bridge? and also there's pyre and a chain like fringe in this there as well, so that's pretty impressive, right? I mean, so if you need to do image classification, you don't even need to know the details of how convolutional neural network work or how to tune them, and you know how to like build up the right typology and iterate on the right hyperparameters. You can just use somebody else work who already did that, and by using model juice from the cafe model Jew or elsewhere for a lot of common problems, you can just get up and running in a couple of lines of code. It's never been easier to use artificial intelligence in a real world application now. So although it's good to understand the fundamentals, especially if you are gonna be doing something that nobody ever done before for common AI problems, there's been so much research in recent years that there's a good chance that somebody has already solved the problem that you are trying to solve, and you can just use their results if they were kind enough to publish them on a model Jew somewhere. So yeah, try it out on some photos of your own too. Why not? If you have some, just throw in the course materials and call my classify function on it and see what it does do. Have some fun with it, and you can also try some different models too and see how they work. ResNet 50 was actually the model that worked the best for my photos, but there are other models included with Keras, including Inception and MobileNet, that you might want to try out. If you do want to play with it, you will have to refer to the documentation here. There's a link to it here. You do need to know what image dimensions that it expect the input in it, for example, or else it would not work at all. So yeah, give it a try, and man, it's mind-blowing stuff, guys. Just kind of like a sit there and let it sink in that it's that easy to use AI right now. Thank you for watching this video.